Hey guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to instruct your patient on forward gait and turning with axillary crutches, both partial weight bearing and non-weight bearing. So a few things to keep in mind before we get started is in order to use axillary crutches, your patient is going to need sufficient upper extremity and trunk strength as well as strength on at least one of their lower extremities to support their body weight throughout the gait. As your patient is using crutches, they are going to want to adduct their shoulders, depress their scapula, and extend their elbows in order to support some of their weight. There's a few different gait patterns that can be used with axillary crutches: 2-point, 3-point, and 4-point gait. We're mostly going to be talking about 3-point gait in this video, but towards the end I'll show you guys 2 and 4-point and explain when you would use those. So we'll start with 3-point gait partial weight bearing. So my left leg is going to be partial weight bearing. In order to start out, you want to place your crutches about 6 inches from your toes at a 45-degree angle. To start moving forward, you move the crutches first, then the involved lower extremity, and then step through with the non-involved lower extremity as you put as much weight as you can on that involved limb and the crutches. And we'll just continue to move forward. So crutch, involved, non-involved, crutch, involved, non-involved. Now you're going to want to encourage your patient to step all the way through with their non-involved leg, because that's going to look a lot more like normal gait rather than just stepping to meet their injured leg. Some patients, just depending on range of motion or strength deficits or pain, may have to just meet the other foot. If that's the case, then that's all right too. For 3-point gait non-weight bearing, it's going to be the same starting position as the partial weight bearing, but clearly my left leg is not on the ground. So your patient, if they're able to flex the knee, they can hold their leg behind them like this. If they're not able to sustain knee flexion, they can hold their leg in front of them by flexing their hip. So for this example, we'll pretend that I can sustain knee flexion on the left. Again, we're starting the same as we did in 3-point partial weight bearing. To start moving forward, we're going to move crutches, and the non-involved leg is going to step all the way through. So crutch, non-involved, crutch, non-involved. 2 and 4-point gait are used when your patient can at least partial weight bear on both lower extremities, and your patient requires a little more stability than the 3-point gait offers. So in both of these patterns, they require less energy expenditure than the 3-point gait, and they are more stable. So we'll start with 4-point gait, and that is where each crutch and each leg is going to move on its own. So the easiest way is just to demonstrate. So we're going to start in the same starting position as the 3-point gait partial weight bearing. But I'm going to move my right crutch first, followed by my left leg, then left crutch, right leg. Right crutch, left leg, left crutch, right leg. So we're just alternating sides each time I move forward. For 2-point gait, you can move a little bit quicker, but it's still very stable and the energy expenditure is low. So with 2-point gait, I'm going to move each leg with the opposite crutch. So left leg and right crutch move together, and right crutch and left leg move together. So again, the same starting position as before. We're going to move left leg and right crutch, right leg and left crutch. And with both of these, you're just putting as much weight as tolerated on the weight-bearing limb, and the rest will have to be supported by the crutches. Alright guys, now I'm going to teach you how to instruct your patient on turning with axillary crutches. So while you're turning with axillary crutches, it requires pivoting, so you're usually going to want to do that on the non-involved lower extremity. There may be some cases where it's okay for your patient to pivot on their involved lower extremity, but one thing to keep in mind is if they have had a recent hip replacement, it's contraindicated to pivot on that limb. So just keep that in mind as you're working with your patients. In this example, we're going to pretend that I am non-weight bearing on my left leg, but you would turn the same way if you were partial weight bearing. So first, I'm just going to shift my weight onto the non-involved leg. Next, I'm going to move my crutches toward the side that I want to turn. So I'm going to turn to the right, my crutches move towards the right, and then I pivot towards them, reposition my crutches to turn further, pivot, crutches, pivot. And now I can turn back, move my crutches to facing the direction that I need to go. If this is your patient's first time using axillary crutches, or you're worried about them as a fall risk, you're going to want to put a gait belt around them and use contact guard assistance as they're ambulating with crutches. Whenever you're guarding your patient on crutches, you're going to want to stand toward the side of the involved leg. So at this point, we'll assume that I've already fitted Mike with his crutches. He's successfully gone from seated to standing, and I've already explained and demonstrated how we're going to move forward with a 3-point gait, non-weight bearing. So as a physical therapist, I'm going to keep 2 hands on the gait belt at all times. My right foot is going to be in line with the crutches, and my back foot is going to be about in line with Mike's feet at a 90-degree angle. So as we move forward, my front foot is going to move forward when his crutches move forward. My back foot's going to move forward when his non-involved leg goes forward. So, Mike, are you ready to move?
I'm ready.
Great. All right, so let's go ahead.